Today, we're going to answer these questions. Am I managing money wisely or emotionally? What financial habits are creating pressure in my life? Where do I need more structure? What am I consuming to impress people? What would financial peace actually look like for me? And am I building temporary comfort or lasting stability? Most people don't realize it, but money reveals more about our mindset than almost anything else. Actually, in today's culture, financial pressure has become normal. What do I mean by that? That we're living paycheck to paycheck, using debt to maintain appearances, emotional spending, overconsumption, and living without long term planning. However, financial freedom is not simply about making more money. No, it isn't. It's about learning how to manage what already passes through our hands. Scripture tells us in Proverbs 27 to know the state of your flocks. In modern language, what that means is pay attention to what you have, know what's coming in, and know what's going out. Understand what you're building. One of the greatest mindset shifts a person can experience is realizing this: you're not just an earner, you're a steward. And what do stewards do? They manage resources wisely. That includes money, opportunities, time, influence, relationships, and vision. Many people are earning more while still feeling trapped because they live as though resources are scarce and survival is the ultimate goal. What happens there is that mindset often produces fear based decisions. It causes the emotional spending, the debt dependency, the lack of planning, the constant financial anxiety, and confusing our wants with our needs. But healthy stewardship, that changes the relationship with money entirely. Stewardship means managing resources both intentionally and purposefully without doing it emotionally. Your income is a resource. Your skills are resources. Your time, energy, gifts, and opportunities are also resources. Money becomes a tool, a resource, a means of impact, not identity and not validation, certainly not security. One of the biggest problems in modern culture is that people are taught to chase money without first developing the character needed to manage it properly. And what is the result? Unfortunately, it's high income with no peace, success with constant pressure, consumption on without fulfillment, lifestyle growth without wealth building. Money was never meant to master your emotions or determine your worth. It is simply a tool of exchange as well as opportunity. And a tool can build something meaningful or create destruction depending on how it's used. When people become emotionally attached to money, they often hold tightly out of fear and anxiety, overspend for validation, or avoid financial responsibility altogether. Financial freedom begins when money loses its emotional control over decision making. The four principles of financial freedom include plant. Everything grows from intentional investment, whether it's your business, your career, your relationships, your health, or your finances. Growth requires planting first. Investment may look like learning new skills, investing in mentorship, strategists, building systems, saving consistently, or contributing something greater than yourself. What you repeatedly invest in eventually grows. Planning, number two. Most people hope financially instead of planning financially. Hope without structure creates instability. This is what Jesus said in Luke 14 and 28. Don't begin until you count the cost. For who would build or begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it. A healthy financial plan includes, this is not a dirty word, budgeting, debt reduction, savings, emergency preparation, long-term vision, and strategic goals. Planning requires honesty. You must know what you spend, why you spend it, what produces income, what drains resources. Clarity creates stability. Number 3, prioritize. One of the greatest steps to financial freedom is confusing wants with needs. What do needs do? They sustain life. Wants often satisfy emotion. There is nothing wrong with enjoying life or desiring success. The issue comes when consumption becomes compensation for stress, insecurity, exhaustion, or comparison. Financial maturity requires discernment. Sometimes freedom looks less like acquiring more and more like becoming disciplined enough to protect peace. Number 4, pray, reflect, and align. Healthy people regularly pause to reflect, evaluate, recalibrate, and align their decisions with their values, whether through prayer, journaling, meditation, or intentional reflection. Alignment is necessary for sustainable success. Without reflection, people often build lives that they can't afford financially and can't sustain emotionally. Give, save, and spend. Most people are taught spend first, spend, 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 save later, give if there's anything left over. But sustainable freedom usually follows a different order. It's the give, save, spend. Intentionally giving develops generosity instead of greed. Saving creates preparation instead of panic. Intentional spending creates peace instead of chaos. Hear me clearly. Financial wisdom is not about restriction, it's about alignment. Here's a final thought. Financial freedom is not about becoming obsessed with money. It's about becoming disciplined enough that money no longer controls decisions, emotions, relationships, or our future. Because stability is not created from income alone, it's created by wisdom, stewardship, discipline, intentional living, and clarity always creates stability. At 2911 Speaks, we believe clarity creates stability, and stability leads to enduring security. Enduring security leads to great success.